Hey everybody, welcome to Basically Sci-Fi, the short story writing show where we tell some short stories that you can basically call sci-fi. My name's Todd.
And I'm Jared.
And I'm Adam.
Hey Adam, there wasn't an Adam before. The F?
I've materialized.
Do we want to take that again?
No, it'll be fine.
Okay.
Nope, I mean I'll cut the pause if necessary later.
Oh, we don't want pauses?
But no, it's fine. It's fine.
I thought to make a good radio show you need a lot of dead air.
I mean, that is one theory behind it. Not a pervasive theory, but it's a theory.
Alright, so this is my first time here. What do you guys normally do to start this off?
Usually just talk some nonsense about video game. Usually Final Fantasy in particular.
Yeah, because I've never played it, and Todd fucking loves to talk about it anyways. Also, are you saying...
The remake is coming out. I'm dating this episode.
Are you saying you've never listened to our podcast? And now you're on it?
Joe, listen, I have listened to your podcast. I just skipped the intro.
Yeah, I suppose, it's been like a year since we put out an episode, so...
And that is important feedback that we should have gotten earlier, that people are skipping the intros.
Exactly.
Well then, I guess let's get right to it. Adam, you're on the spot. You're reading a story. Go. Now. Go.
Right.
Stop being boring. Go.
On the spot, no more dead air. Here we go.
No.
No, hold on. Wait a minute.
What?
What's happening? Where am I?
You are on Basically Sci-Fi, the short story writing show. Okay, so there is a bit of an update to the show, in addition to being the first episode in, a while. Gonna be changing the format a bit. We're gonna be doing one short story at a time, and then in the next week or two, or however many we'll get around to it, there will be another episode with another story by another one of us. And to celebrate our first story in this format, we're actually going to let Adam go first and read his short story.
I appreciate you letting me go first.
I mean,
It is
because I always
allowed.
went first before. All right, we're going to have him go first. We're
Force
going to
it.
make him go first.
Yeah.
This is
I'm being peer
hazing.
pressured to go first.
You were being hazed. Welcome to the club. All right, so we had a couple of prompts for this story. So the other two stories, when we record them, will also have the same prompts. Adam, can you tell me what were those prompts?
So this time, we've chosen electromagnetism and rocks as the prompts.
The classic
Somehow we
sci-fi
both
trope.
thought of something very
rocks.
similar.
Hey man, I think that idea rocks.
It sounds like something that you came up with.
I
I don't remember who picked rocks or who picked electromagnetism, so we're not putting anyone on blast here.
Yeah.
No, I picked rocks.
Yeah.
Listen.
I'm all about putting people on blast, so,
Look, but same as always, I did pick this prompt completely blind. I had not heard anything about any electromagnetism.
Yeah,
I picked rocks
fair enough.
from out of my idea hole.
I was really hoping you were going to say from outer space, but
That would be thematic.
That's too clever for this show.
Well, thank you, listener, for staying tuned through that.
You're welcome.
We're now going to put on Adam. Go. What's your story called? Go.
all right. The story is called Todd's First Story. No,
That's
actually
misleading.
not the name. So I'm going to name this the Albatross.
Yeah, that title's free.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it's free and fair use. So here we go. I've got some nice coffee here to lube my jowls.
Alright.
Is this another one of those not, throbbing veins?
If anyone remembers my first story that I did on this, podcast. There was a lot of throbbing and like very what are they called?
I was trying to
Obelisk
remember.
shaped things. No, there's no phallic jokes in this.
Okay.
This is a serious science fiction story. That's
Okay.
that's what we're doing.
That is.
All right,
Although
here we go.
phalluses are rocket shaped, or the other way around.
Rockets don't have to be phallus shaped.
Okay. What's
Captain
the story called?
So
You didn't have a title.
it's called Albatross.
He did have a title. You just weren't paying attention.
Oh, wait, really, Albatross?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Hmm.
Well, as long as there's no article, then I think it's okay to use. Is it the Albatross or Albatross?
Just Albatross.
I don't
Okay,
think-
go.
Yeah. Let's go.
I'm going to read. All right, I'm going to count down.
All right.
3, 2, 1. Captain Craig Winterburn is dead. The Albatross deorbiting. I've made a grammar mistake already. Sorry. I learned how to read just yesterday. Excuse me. Captain Craig Winterburn is dead. The Albatross is deorbiting. Mayday, mayday. If anyone out there can hear me, send help. The message echoed into the empty expanse, pinging off the stars. The Albatross listed planetside as its third and final repulsor gave out and started to fall. Buck Peters stared at his reflection in the planetside window, the silhouette of the planet looming before him. He could make out flashes of lightning sparking up under patches of heavy cloud cover as the ship drew nearer and nearer. He found them strikingly beautiful, contrasting against the shadow of the dark side of the planet. Buck was a man of below average stature, but above average width. His mother would have said
What
that
about girth?
he's also quite girthy. His mother would have said that he was built like a bulldog, and she liked bulldogs, of course. If chins could kill, Buck's chin could massacre. He rubbed the stubble on his chin. It had been a long 36 hours. This voyage was supposed to be a simple gig. If he could finish this mandatory work allotment, he could get his own ship. Every citizen of the Randall sector was promised a ship. That was the whole reason he had emigrated there in the first place.
Ooh, the Randall sector.
And now it seemed, yeah, Randall.
Yeah.
And now it seemed that fate was putting him and his ship on hold. He looked down at the body of the late janitorial team leader, what's his name? There was a charred black hole in his chest.
Oh.
If I hadn't hid myself in the cabinet under the sink, that would have been me. Shrugging this off, he opened his... This is fucking me up.
Yeah, I know. It's kind of hard, but you get used to it.
Shrugging this off, he opened his Omnicom.
Zombie-com?
Omnicom.
Oh.
Because OmniTool was trademarked. So this is fair use.
Yep.
Hello, whoever's listening, speaking into the Omnicom. I'm probably captain by now. Everyone else in this part of the ship is dead, it seems to me. The engineering officer's mutiny didn't go as planned. Or maybe it did. The bridge is sealed, so there's no way to know for certain. So I'm captain of this part of the ship. I should probably signal a mayday. We've lost control of our ship. If there's anyone out there to hear me, no thrusters or something. We're falling into this planet's gravity well, so that's where I'm at right now. How are you? That's nice. Thanks for sharing. Anyway, I gotta find me a life pod. He turned off the Omnicom and he broke out onto a run, back to his room to get his essentials. He could feel the ship shudder as it began to enter the planet's atmosphere. He rounded the corner, bounding over the bulkhead to the crew's quarters, as the terrible screech of metal tearing ripped through the air. Shit! He knew that was the sound of the bridge trying to emergency separate from the body of the ship. To him, it didn't sound like it was having much success. The plexi shield window was now turning red, air resistance toasting the ship. Buck pulled the bulkhead door shut and locked it. Sweat began to beat up on his forehead as the temperature is rising rapidly now. Buck started to rise off the floor of the ship, floating in place. In any other circumstance, he would have really enjoyed this. But panic seized him now, and he flailed wildly for a handhold. Clawing his way back to his bunk, Buck pushed off of the walls, bunks, and dressers, all welded to the floor. He kicked through people's dirty clothes and pictures of loved ones. In his bed, he struggled and searched, and he found the safety straps tucked under the bunk. It was too late now, he knew, to get to the escape pods. He found the straps and fumbled with the clip, finally locking himself in place. Another deafening peal filled the air, and his world started to spin. The ship tumbling through the air. Something had fallen off. Jesus titty fucking Christ! And then darkness filled everything.
The tone changed.
All of a sudden.
Listen, I've heard that's how you write comedy.
I thought this was sci-fi.
He's not dead.
Okay. No, he's under his bunk.
He's strapped to his bunk.
Oh, he's strapped to the bunk.
Yes,
Okay.
it's similar
I thought the
to
straps
how...
were under the bunk.
If you've seen any bullshit with like sailors in those big old metal boats, they've got straps on beds so when the ship lists back and forth, bumped by waves, the sailors don't fall out of the beds when they sleep, and that's kind of what this is a reference to.
Okay. Okay. That makes sense then.
Yeah.
Buck awoke to a room painted in flashes of purple, light from the lightning of the planet flickering through the tear in the hull of the ship. The whole room was tilted, the ship having crashed in a spectacular fashion. Unlike in movies, where the ship always touches down oriented the right way up, this is due to movie magic, where movie wizards help the ship down safely in such a way that the hero can make a dignified exit
I thought
into
this
a bright
was
new
sci-fi.
world.
Now it's fantasy.
Yeah.
Well, heroes always get their dignified exit, but Buck knew this to be true. Suspended on his side, still held in place by the straps, Buck found that he was in neither a movie and he was not some kind of space hero. Yet he told himself, huh? What did he tell himself? He told
I don't
himself.
know.
He told himself something.
Yet he told himself he was.
Yeah, I think my thing auto-deleted that. Anyway,
Anyway.
when I write, sometimes I forget words.
No, it's good. I like that. That was some character building.
Buck could feel the weak pull of the planet. It must have been smaller than Centralia. He felt lighter, which was opportune for him, as he carelessly undid the buckles, holding himself in place, and plummeted across the room into the wall that was now a floor. Coming to his feet, he looked around the destroyed room for anything useful. Everyone's shit was out everywhere. It was truly a mess that only a hurricane or a 2-year-old could be proud of. His own effects were in a chest that was now nearer the ceiling, so instead he decided to rummage through nearby chests one by one. Not a single blaster to be found, of course. Those damn mutineers must have taken every last weapon with them. He managed to find, after great labor, 4 ration packs, 1 chocolate bar, a yo-yo, a beautiful spool of hair-thin metal, a blonde wig, a backpack, 4 pairs of socks that fit him, and a chain razor.
I want to know what kind of sex doll you can craft all those things into.
That's very true. He's going to MacGyver himself a sex doll. You've caught me, actually.
Damn it!
But it's going to be electromagnetic.
We'll cut that. I don't...
No, keep it in. The chain razor was the real deal, too. Made from the finest kind of space metal that Buck knew absolutely nothing about. It was the size of a kitchen knife, but its edge was lined in micron-small serrated teeth. Turning it on would whir them around at lightning speed and dice through almost anything, separating molecules from molecules.
Wow.
He stowed them all and fumbled over the detritus, climbing the bunk bed bars with ease until he could heft his ass out of the scar in the ship. Who knows if he could have done this on a standard-sized planet, but that's not where he was now. This was a small planet, and Buck made the most of it. The rain hit him hard, drenching him in moments. But he didn't care. The vista before him took his breath away. The rain came down on a craggy planet, shades of browns and grays and oranges as far as the eye could see. Fractured plains rolled out, crevasses spiderwebbing their way into the distance, where mountains reached for the sky. And all above this, purple lightning flashed through the clouds, arcing to the ground and to those huge floating islands. Yes, islands in the sky. Buck could hardly believe himself. And not only that, but the clouds, though. They were exceedingly rare. Mamatocumulus, as far as the eye could see. Great memories above, he whispered to himself in a loud voice, drowned out by the rain and the peal of thunder.
Is that a common thing that people say in your universe?
No, actually, this guy is just kind of a cloud pervert.
Okay.
Great memories above, he whispered to himself in a loud voice. Drowned out by the rain and the peal of thunder, he summoned his Omnicom, hard light emerging from the watch on his wrist to cover his hand. He documented the phenomenon, snapping as many images as he dared, now running down the barren, rocky hillside towards a crevasse. Rocks tumbled, dislodged by his footfalls. He tripped, falling. He put the hard light encased hand first and fell on it, the light shattering and dispersing as photons were released from containment. His right hand was skinned slightly. Hands and knees in a puddle, Buck pulled himself upright. He resummoned the hard light Omnicom and proceeded. Buck's diary. No one listen to this, or I'll be pissed. He cleared his throat again. I've crashed down on the most amazing planet. I mean, the clouds here exhibit the most fantastic memetocumulus formations. The lightning is taking a purple hue. I suspect the atmosphere may contain something. There's also floating islands. I definitely got to get up on one to get a little closer to those clouds. Maybe get some data. The rest of this place is a shithole, though. Rocks and full of... He said as he tripped over a large stone.
Oh, he tripped. Okay.
He chided himself for messing up his delivery. This was no place to be an idiot. He had to stay alive until help arrived. It was then he felt eyes in his neck, in the way that you do when you've just gotten a new haircut and the barber did you raw, but you didn't know yet since he really just fucked up the back of your head. And Buck felt just like that, like an ass with a bad haircut. He turned around slowly to find a crowd of small green and blue things. About waist high or so, they stood completely naked. Little frog-like things with spears of stone. Amazing little spears, really. They appear to be of one material. One section of stone sanded down to be as sharp and as deadly as any metal, no doubt.
No doubt.
No doubt. The frog boys had quite severe looks on their faces. Time for some diplomacy, he thought to myself.
He thought to myself.
He thought to himself. He thought to myself, too, the narrator. Hey, my sweet boys, he said, raising his hands and dismissing the hard light Omnicom. What a lovely day, isn't it? The largest froggy boy stepped forward. This one wasn't totally naked. He had a polished stone breastplate held up by some chain metalwork of some kind. His flaccid froggy penis dangled as he waddled forward. Buck couldn't help from noticing. Skybreaker, you've been summoned, the little froggy boy croaked.
Ooh.
Summoned? By who? I just got here. I don't have any friends. Skybreaker! Come along, it's raining buckets. Or are you going to wait there until you grow gills? Buck was taken aback by this. He hated the ocean, and fish. There was nothing that turned his stomach more than something so cold and unforgiving as a fish's eyes. I say, my good Froggo, who do you think you are? I'll have you know I'm the captain of that, he said, pointing to the ruins of the ship he crawled from. I dare say was is what you meant. Regardless, come along. Then he let out a couple of croaks and squawks, and the whole congregation turned to leave. Hold up, Buck called after them and followed them up the hill. On the other side, a good ways off, they trudged through the rain, reaching the lip of a crevasse. The scar in the land seemed to span 100 meters at least, to the dismay of Buck. The little Froggos walked right up to the edge. Buck wasn't a big fan of heights, but he forced himself to sidle closer. Then one of the froggy boys leapt off into the void. Wait, no! Buck squawked, surprised by the
race's name? Are they called Froggy Boys?
It's the race that Buck has given it in his kind of like mind. I like to imagine.
Oh, okay.
I wrote it, so I imagined that.
Yeah.
So let me do that one more time.
No.
Wait! Yeah. Buck squawked, surprised by the suddenness of it all. The froggy boy, however, seemed to land on something that must have been just below the lip of the cliff. He started moving down slowly, disappearing from sight. Buck, curiosity overtaking fear, came right up to the edge. He had lost some of his nerve upon reaching it, and peeked over to see the black void beneath. And a Froggo, suspended on a floating rock, traveling gently downward, looked up at him.
Ah, okay.
He also saw several other rocks slowly coming up to meet him. Our sacred rocks carry our bodies and souls back home, the Captain Frog offered. He saw Buck's bewilderment and shrugged. He gestured at the massive floating islands off in the distance. These rocks break all known constraints of reason, suspended by our Holy Mother. They never touch the profane ground. They're a testament to the power of the Holy Mother.
Oh.
Say, chap, how do all these rocks float for real? Like, for real. There's no way they're magnetic, right? Or something.
Fucking magnets.
How do they work?
The Captain Frog didn't answer and just jumped backwards, just in time to land on a stone platform coming up to meet him. Magic, he croaked, waving his little fingers in the air, and then he descended slowly out of sight with a smile, mad-dogging Buck.
I think you mean miracles.
This was when Buck realized all the frogs were gone. He hadn't paid attention. Save for one, ordinary-ass frog. The frog gestured from Buck to a slowly rising stone platform and back again. I'm not getting on that. The frog croaked and burbled frantically now as the stone platform neared the edge. Squawk, squawk, ribbit, ribbit. Listen here, man. I'm getting a high-pressure system coming on here, and I just can't, he said, taking a step back. Lightning tore through the heavens, shocking the world with purple light. The frog seemed pissed, but Buck couldn't imagine why. He noticed the stone was actually starting to pass the lip of the canyon and start a skyward trajectory. The frog pulled some kind of rope out of a small pouch he carried and whipped it towards Buck. Before he could react, he was lassoed, and the froggy boy jumped a good 2 meters into the air to grab onto the stone. It hefted itself up onto the platform, and it started descending. The frog yanked on the rope, and Buck was sent tumbling into the canyon. He fell and then came to the end of the line with a jerk. Ah! He screamed as they both slowly proceeded downward.
That was a good scream.
After what felt like an age, but probably closer to 10 minutes, down in the dank, dim bowels of the canyon, Buck saw it. He'd kept up his screaming for good measure, just in case he was going to die, but he could see dots of brightness peppering both the near and far sides of the canyon now. It was like he was descending into the stars. Drawing nearer, the light specks resolved into candles and what looked like mushrooms, lighting alcoves that looked like landings and piers hanging out over the abyss. He could see that they were coming down to meet one of them. A certain armored froggy boy was looking back up at him, with what Buck thought of as a shit-eating grin. He was plopped down onto the platform with all the ceremony of a sack of taters, and he wriggled out of his restraints, soaked to the bone, but surprisingly found that he wasn't as cold as he was on the surface. It was humid, and looking out into the dank cavern, he could see something akin to clouds or really thick fog. He could feel an updraft, warm and wet on his skin. He didn't dare look down, though. The froggy captain was all on his own, save for the froggo that brought Buck down with him, appraising him with a smile from beyond the landing. Buck stood and power-walked his ass right past the froggy boy over to the safety of the stone alcove, sweating. It's pretty... Wait.
Why was he... Why was he sweating? Was it the
he's
humidity
nervous.
or the nerves?
Yes, he
Okay.
fucking hates heights, and
does
now
he?
he's both in heights and underground.
Right. Okay.
It's pretty dank, right? The captain said, coming over and offering a webbed hand to Buck. Buck looked at the hand suspiciously. Yeah, it's humid and wet. It's pretty dark, too. Skybreaker. In our tongue, dank carries the connotation of something good. Down here, there are no lightning storms, no landslides, no crashing rocks from the sky. It's warm. It's safe. And he sniffed the air. Did you wet yourself? Is that some kind of protective coating? No. It's raining, Buck said, looking off into the distance.
So dramatic.
It's definitely not down here. I believe that's urine. The froggy captain withdrew his hand and gestured down the corridor. No matter, you can wash yourself before you meet the Holy Mother.
Oh, the Holy Mother is real. Yeah, I thought she was gonna be some kind of like
Science.
goddess. Oh,
I mean,
shit.
This is
I'm
science
still
fiction.
thinking that the goddess is just going to be an electromagnet, but
Because that's how prompts work. You just
Exactly.
make your most important character what the prompt is.
precisely.
They proceeded for a while, through stone passages just barely taller than Buck, lit from above. Luminescent mushrooms coated the ceiling, providing sufficient enough light for Buck to see. He could see what looked like froggos, and he could see that they had carved abodes into the walls of the corridor. Small entrances with some brown, leathery material hanging in place of a door. Sometimes small caves with glassless windows, open holes cut into the stone where Buck, if he had stopped to peek, would have seen froggy homes and froggy children and froggy families. They passed froggy boys performing various duties patrolling with those stone spears. Froggy boys carrying what looked like other mushrooms in bags made of that same leathery material. And froggy women. Probably froggy women. herding gaggles of tiny kids.
Tadpoles, even.
They finally came to a large door that had 2 attendants, but
Oh, that's
no
an
material.
important question.
Yeah.
Are they
up?
tadpoles or are they just like smaller froggy boys?
Yeah.
They're just smaller froggy boys.
Oh, okay.
They're not aquatic, they're like toads.
Science.
But see, Buck is dumb, so he's calling them frogs.
Right.
He's another dumb.
Okay.
He only likes clowns. Listen.
That is important. Okay.
They finally came to a large door that had 2 attendants and no leathery material. A line of froggos waited as the attendants permitted entry one at a time. Buck was pleased as a peach to find that he got to skip the line.
Sorry, the mic's picking up a lot of her walking around, so...
Kissy is going to be my sound effects.
Sorry.
They finally came to a large door that had 2 attendants and no leathery material. A line of froggos waited as the attendants permitted entry one at a time. Buck was pleased as a peach to find that he got to skip that line. "We're just going in?" he asked the captain. "We can't keep the Holy Mother waiting. Please, wash yourself with alacrity. Skybreaker, these are the pools of redemption." And the chamber opened up, no longer cramped but majestic. Pools of water glowing from within were arranged, cut into the stone of some subterranean hill. Froggy boys and girls bathed in silence in all the pools but one, at the top of the hill. The air felt heavy here, but Buck disrobed. He climbed the stone pathway that wound between the pools. Reaching the top, he dipped his hand into the glowing water of an empty pool. It was warm and pleasant. So he squatted by the edge and splashed some water on his balls. "Skybreaker, no! We don't wash our genitals in the font of the Holy Mother!"
Oh, no.
And that concludes this,
Oh.
part 1.
Oh.
There we go.
Oh.
Because that was like, what, 20 minutes?
That
Yeah.
was like 30.
Yeah.
But
I'm long-winded, so
No,
you're
it's
going to
good.
need part 2.
It's
But
good.
don't worry, electromagnets are going to continue to be a theme throughout the rest of the story. I'm going to just stack prompts on top of each other so that it's just one mess of like stuff
No,
at the
that
end.
was good.
Yeah. Yeah, that works. You mentioned both stone and magnets anyways, so...
Oh,
Success.
yeah. There was tons of stone.
I hope it was funny.
Yeah,
Good use of the prompts.
yeah.
There were funny moments. Definitely some funny moments. That was
For
very
sure.
good.
I
Yeah.
didn't stick to the one goof per 30 seconds.
No. I mean, but this also isn't TV, so...
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, no, I like the character development.
Yeah. Yeah.
Buck is
Solid.
pretty wild.
You could say that he's buck wild.
Could, but
It's
I
almost
won't.
like I did. Well, I'm not gonna now.
I hope nudity and like the imagination of nakedness doesn't upset our viewers.
Oh, God. Well,
Froggy nakedness, of course.
they're in the wrong place then.
Yeah.
If they are upset.
Todd records this
If you're
with his
looking for
dick out
naked
the whole
frogs to
time.
fill your fetish, you've come to the right.
You only know that because I told you that.
And you left your video on Skype.
Oh, no. For 48 hours.
So how was it?
Specific.
It's a lovely, specific question. It was good. It was
What do you think about dialogue? I think dialogue is probably my weakest part of my writing.
Oh, yeah, there was a lot of scene description.
Yeah, I like to talk about the way things look.
No, it was good. I was in
That's,
the moment a lot.
that's what I do too, though. I don't do a lot of dialogue myself because I'm not particularly
But
good
dialogue
at it.
is important for like diegetic jokes, right?
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's always helpful to develop an understanding with the characters themselves. But yeah, no, yours was good. It was to the point at very least.
Yeah, no, the scene descriptions were good. They put me there since there was a lot of physicality to the story too. Like he's moving and
Yeah,
running and
jumping off cliffs and
Yeah.
floating,
So
jerking
that
off
was
the
really
clouds.
good to know where he was. Yep. You can't jerk off to clouds you don't know are there.
Exactly.
You can only jerk off to clouds that are shaped like breasts.
I mean, I can jerk off to whatever clouds I want.
I will.
I actually did a lot of cloud research because Buck's character is kind of based around the fact he's
No. You're giving it away.
Okay. But I will say that Mamatocumulus is a real cloud.
Yeah, I was going to say, I
Google
assumed you
image
either
search it,
looked
and
that
it is,
up or you know far too much about clouds, because I know cumulus clouds.
It is also extremely rare.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I don't know. I remember being in like second grade and learning about all the different types of clouds.
Yeah.
And for some reason I really liked it. So, man, I remember, and for the rest of my life, I remember looking up and going like, oh man, look at them stratus clouds.
I remember that sometimes clouds look like shapes, and that's a thing. That's about all I know about clouds.
Well, of course, clouds at different heights make different shapes, right?
I'm sure we'll learn a lot more about clouds from the wild Buck Peters. Buck Peters.
This has been a Buck Peters reading podcast, and you can go buck yourself.
Already
Buck Peters
am.
Adventure. Well, now I can picture the novel cover.
Oh, okay.
I just get like a
not
nice
where
little,
I thought you were
kissing.
going with that, but okay, yeah. Picture a novel
It's-
cover. Yeah.
Yeah, a Buck Peters adventure
Mm-hmm.
I think
for young adults.
Yeah.
I actually really enjoyed that idea. If I had been born like 50 years ago, like I totally could have gotten that in pulp.
Yep.
Not now though.
Oh, because kids don't read books. Kids
And pulp is dead.
listen to podcasts.
That and whenever you hear the name Buck, you just have to think, my name is Buck and I'm here to fuck.
Yeah. Definitely, I'm sure we all. I mean, I definitely do.
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking.
I mean,
thinking
I was-
of Kill Bill.
Yeah,
Is that from
exactly.
something?
That's
That's
from
from
Kill
Kill
Bill.
Bill.
Really? I need to see Kill Bill.
You've never
You
seen Kill
never-
Bill?
I've never seen Kill Bill.
Huh?
Oh, jeez.
It's all right. It's standard Tarantino, which
so
is
who's
better
Buck?
than most, I suppose,
Oh yeah.
depending on your tastes.
But yeah, back to the dialogue though. Was the dialogue
yeah.
working? Did it sound kind of like, repetitive?
What? No, the dialogue was fine.
No,
it was
it
good.
was good.
Did they each have like a kind of a voice of their own? I didn't want them to like bleed together.
There were a couple of moments where the voices were indistinct, and so I couldn't tell who was who. So I don't know. Maybe just throw in a couple extra Froggy Boy saids.
I
in the
need to
middle
get
there to-
more into the character voice.
Well, it's kind of hard to critique that considering the standard of voice acting we've had on the show so far.
Yeah, yeah. Todd never does voices.
I mean, I've got Russian voice, gravelly smoker voice.
Oh, can you say, is this bar smoker friendly?
What? Now you sound like what's her name at work, the manager who keeps asking me to say things in a voice because she thinks like you really sound like an advertisement on TV
Or the train guy.
or like a news anchor. She's like, here, say today's news for me. Like, okay. Today in the news, coronavirus continues to kill everyone and everything. Stay tuned for how you can prevent corona by washing your hands. Details at 11.
Better than how Trump is trying to solve it by denying that it exists.
Yeah, right?
Listen, if something doesn't exist, then it can't be a problem.
Yeah.
I don't see
yeah.
what's wrong there.
I mean, that's what Bernie's trying to do too with
Basically
student debt.
science.
What?
If you just make if you just make it not a problem anymore, then it won't be a problem.
Okay. Thought you were saying he was trying to deny that student debt existed.
Well, I mean, it can't be a problem if it doesn't exist. And so he's trying to erase it from existence.
Yeah, that's like the complete opposite tactic of Trump, though. Trump is saying things aren't real, and Bernie is trying to come up with solutions to make them not real.
Well, we all do what we can.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean,
We're
Just
dating
gonna-
the episode again.
oh, yeah. No, especially if Bernie doesn't get the Democratic nomination. Then it's really,
Oh, man.
really pinning down a time.
This is a very specific point in
It's-
time where we think
I
he
mean,
still
this
could.
might be 2 days after Super Tuesday, but you'll never know.
He got California. He's doing all right.
Yeah,
Yeah, no, he's
No,
doing
no.
good, but
he's doing good.
we probably don't need to talk about it anymore.
Nope. Anyway, hey, thank you guys for listening
You're
to
welcome.
Basically Sci-Fi,
Oh,
basically politics, and we'll catch you next time when I will be reading a story about electromagnetism and rocks,
Yeah.
and that is gonna rock.
It's gonna get my rocks off.
That's gonna. I can't believe neither one of us. I mean, all right, spoiler. I didn't say get my rocks off.
Well, I mean, you haven't heard mine
But
yet
now you have to.
because I just got these prompts today, even though you guys have apparently already written stories.
Yep. Well, that's why we're doing this weekly.
Exactly.
Yep. See you next time, and I hope you get your rocks off.
Bye.